While the Illyrians suffered quietly, other species pretended not to notice. The Treskar Combine released a second statement. Isolation will remain until the Illyrian Concord demonstrates compliance and rejects all future contact with Deathworlders. Reject? As if the Illyrians had committed a sin by treating dying people as people. The Vorn Dominion held gladiatorial broadcasts mocking soft civilizations. The Silith nomads began rerouting their trade caravans farther from Illyrian space, like travelers walking wide around a graveyard. And among the public of dozens of worlds, a rumor grew teeth. The Illyrians are compromised. The Illyrians are infected with human aggression. The Illyrians will invite war. Fear always needs a story to justify cruelty. On Illyria Prime, Speaker Leora Vale walked through a hospital. She didn't come with cameras or political theater. She came alone. Illyrian leaders didn't hide behind guards, because guards made them nervous. Their culture had never needed them. Now, some were asking for them. Leora passed beds where citizens rested under glowing sheets. She passed a room where medical machines hummed faintly. Older models. The newer shipments had been canceled. A doctor met her in a corridor. "Speaker," he said softly. His patterns trembled with exhaustion. "We can hold, but not forever. The outer settlements are failing." Leora's light dimmed. "How long?" she asked. The doctor hesitated. "Months, if nothing changes." Leora nodded, as if accepting a storm forecast. Then she did something that shocked the doctor. She bowed her head, an Illyrian sign of apology. "I am sorry," she whispered. The doctor's pattern shifted, warm, forgiving gold. "You saved lives," he said. "That cannot be wrong." And for a moment Leora's skin brightened, not with joy, with resolve. In the conquered hall, another meeting formed. This one was smaller, more private. Leora sat with a circle of trusted delegates and advisors. They spoke of options. Some suggested making a public apology to the galactic consensus, saying they regretted helping humans. Others suggested opening their borders to inspections, proving they had no human presence. One elder suggested a radical step. "Perhaps we should ask the humans for support," he said. The room went still. Even saying humans felt like speaking fire. Leora's patterns tightened into cool blue. "They are Deathworlders," another delegate said nervously. "The galaxy fears them for a reason." Leora's response was quiet and sharp. "The galaxy fears them because the galaxy does not understand them." A third voice, trembling, said the truth everyone avoided. "If we contact the humans again, the sanctions will become blockades. Blockades become war." Leora looked around the circle, and when she spoke, her voice held the gentleness that had doomed them and the strength that could still save them. "We will not summon war to our doorstep," she said. Then she added softly, "But we will not deny what we did either." Beyond Illyrian space, while the galaxy argued and punished and postured, something else moved. It didn't announce itself with speeches. It didn't demand compliance. It didn't sanction trade. It simply arrived. On the edges of the Vorn Dominion, a mining colony went silent. Not the normal kind of silence, not a power failure, not a weather event. The entire colony stopped transmitting mid-sentence. A rescue ship arrived 2 days later. They found the colony still intact, buildings standing, lights on, but the people gone. No bodies displayed, no banners raised. Just absence, and something carved into a metal wall with unnatural precision. A symbol like a vertical claw mark inside a circle. The Vorn captain stared at it. His throat scales tightened. He knew that mark. Every military academy in the Dominion taught it as a historical warning, a nightmare from old border wars. He whispered the name with disgust. The Krath. The Krath hierarchy was not a myth. They were simply distant. A predator civilization that didn't negotiate, didn't integrate, didn't assimilate. They consumed territory the way a forest fire consumes dry land. Fast, total, unapologetic. For centuries, they had been held back by distance, by logistics, by the slow friction of space. Now, something had changed. Their raids were becoming organized, their strikes coordinated. Like a storm system forming, Earth's observers saw it too. Deep space probes recorded Krath signatures at the fringes. Their ships weren't sleek like Illyrian vessels. They weren't industrial bricks like Treskar freighters. They were angular, brutal things, like weapons shaped into holes. Heat spikes, ion scars, aggressive maneuvering. Everything about them screamed one message. They were built for hunting. A human intelligence officer stared at the data and said, "They're moving inward." Another asked, "Toward what?" The officer didn't answer right away. He highlighted a path on the star map, a chain of worlds that formed a natural corridor. The path ended at a glowing border, Illyrian space. On Illyria Prime, no one knew yet. Not fully. They were too busy surviving their punishment. But signs appeared. Refugees, small ships with damaged hulls, non-Illyrian vessels slipping into border space without permission, not to trade, because trade was dead, but to hide. The first refugee ship belonged to a minor species, thin-bodied amphibians called the Marathi. They arrived with engines failing and life support barely holding. Illyrian border control hailed them, confused. The Marathi captain responded with a voice cracking in fear. "We have nowhere else. The Krath are behind us. Behind them." As if the Krath were a physical shadow. As if the universe itself chased them. The Illyrians brought them in. Of course they did. They could not watch suffering and turn away, not even now. Not even after the galaxy proved what kindness costs. Hospitals filled, shelters expanded. Illyrian citizens shared food, shared light, shared homes. And quietly, the sanctions began to bite harder. Because now the Illyrians weren't only feeding their own, they were feeding the lost, the unwanted, the hunted. Then another refugee ship arrived, and another. A cracked Dominion scout craft. Its Vorn crew burned and furious, limped into Illyrian space and demanded help like it was owed. The Illyrians gave it anyway, even after the Vorn had threatened them. Because Illyrians didn't measure worth by past cruelty. They measured worth by present life. A Vorn soldier, tall, armored, proud, sat in an Illyrian clinic with a fractured jaw. An Illyrian medic approached, holding a medical sealant. The Vorn bared his teeth. "Why are you helping me?" he spat. The medic's pattern shifted softly. "Because you are hurt," the medic answered. The Vorn's rage faltered. He looked away, ashamed of something he didn't know how to name. Speaker Leora Vial stood at an observation balcony that overlooked one of the orbital docks. She watched refugee vessels line up in quiet desperation. She watched Illyrian volunteers guide them in. Her advisor stepped beside her. "The galaxy will blame us again," the advisor said gently. "They will say we invited the Krath by sheltering survivors." Leora's light dimmed, then steadied. "Let them," she said. The advisor hesitated. "We are already weak." Leora's voice dropped. "Then we will be weak and humane," she replied. "If civilization means abandoning the hunted, then perhaps civilization is broken." Far away, the galactic consensus held emergency discussions. The Treskar Combine wanted fortification and quarantine. The Vorn Dominion wanted war, and someone to point at first. The Silith nomads wanted escape routes and profit. And beneath their arguments was a new fear. What if the humans were right to be dangerous? Because now a real danger was coming, and the galaxy had spent decades policing the wrong monster. Earth's War Council met again. General Varric stood this time. He spoke clearly, without hesitation. "The Krath are moving," he said. "They're testing borders. They're taking worlds." A politician asked the question politicians always ask. "Can we remain hidden?" A scientist asked a different question. "Do they know Earth exists?" Varric's eyes narrowed. "They will," he said. "Predators always learn where the noise is." A senior admiral leaned forward. "And what do we do if the Krath reach Illyrian space?" The room went quiet, because everyone knew the answer, but saying it meant stepping closer to open war. Varric didn't hesitate. "We defend them," he said. Someone protested. "That reveals us." Varric's voice turned colder. "They saved 19 human lives in the dark," he said. "They did it while the whole galaxy watched and chose to look away. If we abandon them now, then we are no better than the species that left us drifting. Silence, heavy, ancient. Then the Admiral asked, "If we defend them, how far do we go?" Varric looked at the star map, at the corridor of worlds, at the approaching predator tide, and his answer was a human one. "As far as it takes," he said. On Illyria Prime, the first Graith probe was spotted. Just a small object at the edge of detection range, but it moved wrong. Aggressive angles, impossible acceleration, no transponder, no greeting, no curiosity, only intent. Illyrian sensors tracked it. The probe dipped toward the border, paused like a beast sniffing a fence, then retreated into the dark. Illyrian analysts watched it leave. One whispered, afraid, "They're looking at us." Speaker Leora Vale closed her eyes. She did not panic. She did not scream. Her skin dimmed to a soft, controlled silver. Illyrian focus. "Then we will shine," she said, "not as a target, as a warning." And that's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, please take a second to like the video and subscribe. It helps the channel more than you know and keeps these stories coming.